to my channel. Gonna be doing some shoulder workouts today. Just a quick rundown, a quick intro. This is a stream of my workouts, doing a body transformation this year. The thing that sets this body transformation apart from others is that I'm not using any sort of supplements. So that's no protein powders, no protein shakes, no creatine, no BCAAs, no pre-workouts, nothing extra. Just trying to get all my nutrients from the food that I eat. I'm not opposed to supplements. I think if you want to take them, great. I've used them in the past. They've worked great. Mostly just I want to see what it's like to go a year without it. Is it absolutely necessary for me to take a bunch of supplements, or can I just be fine without it, hit my goals? Secondary reason is that one of my kids start preschool, and preschool is expensive. So cutting out supplements, it saves me $100 a month at least. That's $1,200 a year, and in this economy, every little bit helps. So that is it. Gonna jump into shoulders with the lateral raises. It's gonna be 10 pounds, 4.53 kilograms. Let's start knocking it out. And here we go. It is another warm one out here. That's nice. Get a nice sheen of sweat going tonight. Had a nice fun day. Took my kids for a nice long hike in the on a mountain. For them, it was long. It's 1.3 miles, which they're pretty little, so it's a long hike, especially because it's on a mountain. Oh, shoot, it was only 10. Can't shoot myself. $15. There we go. It was a beautiful day. It was warm and hot at some point, but overall a nice day. Got a lot done. So one of the weird things about or different things about working out at night versus working out in the daytime is there's a lot more going on outside. You hear a lot more people talking and doing stuff than at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's crazy how that works. Yeah, I love hiking. I love hiking with my kids. It's a lot of fun. It's good way to stay active. I usually walk a couple miles a day with my kids, or have been trying to walk a couple miles a day with my kids the last few weeks, especially because in order for them to, or for me to come out here and do this, I need them to be chilled out. So walking them a couple of miles a day helps with that, making sure they are active. Plus, I want to make sure that they get good sleep for school. All right, this is the wrong weight. I need 25 pounds. All right, I'm gonna do the 25 pounds, which is, let's see, 25 pounds, 11.34 kilograms. All right. Again, feeling better as working out at night as time goes by. Like getting more adjusted to it. Definitely figured out how not to eat too much at dinner. That was a big thing. So got that. I think I got that dialed in. Eating earlier, eating around like 5:30, and then because I don't have a pre-workout, I can't caffeinate. I have to go to sleep. I started eating an apple, or at least half an apple, before I come out here, and I feel like that gives me a little bit more pep in my step, per se. Doesn't make my stomach feel full. Gives me a nice little sugar rush. I feel pretty good off of that. But like I said before, I feel like as time goes on, my body will get adjusted to less caffeine, and it'll be fine. It'll be good. Just getting through that initial stage. But I've done it before. Like I said before, when I was running, like I used to go for like 3-mile runs, cross country, so up and down hills and stuff. It was a lot of fun. And for a while, I would take like a pre-workout or something before I'd go run. Sometimes it'd just be a Red Bull. But I was like kind of feeling like I should cut out caffeine and just do the run without anything in my system, no pre-workouts or anything. So I started doing that, and it took me about a month. But after a month, I was back to running faster and keep making gains. Just took time to readjust. And right now it's hard because I'm just adjusting to working out after doing stuff with the kids all day, but also not having caffeine. And on top of that, because I'm getting better sleep, I've also cut down just the amount of caffeine I take regularly. So my body's been going through some changes. Better sleep, less stimulants, and it'll even out. All right, that's it for the 25s. Gonna mosey on down to the 20s. So far so good. Doing better than I did last week. Last week I did one set of 15, one set of 12, and one set of 11. And this week I managed to knock out one set of 15, one set of 13, and one set of 11. So getting back to having progress, which is nice. Progress is nice. Let's see. All right. Gotta remember to wipe the sweat off. I keep forgetting to bring a towel out here. I'm gonna go through this whole roll of paper towels probably before I remember. But I gotta remember to wipe off the sweat so I don't end up with a nice stream in my eyes. It's always fun. All right. So a little bit of progress there too. I got the 15 pounds. That's 6.8 kilograms. What's up, Shabby? Mama, she says, how are you? I'm not good. I'm struggling so badly mentally, physically, and emotionally. It's not good, dude. I'm sorry, Shabby. That is the trifecta of pain. What you have any family or anybody around with you? I'm going to be stepping away from social media for a while. That includes Twitch. My depression is super bad. My pain I deal with daily really brings me down. I'm sorry, Shabby. I definitely. I think depression is a awful spot to be in when you can't kick it and you can't get better. It's that's awful. I've never dealt with depression on a continual basis, but I've never had chronic pain. And I feel like chronic pain and depression kind of go hand in hand. Like it's hard. I think it's really hard to feel motivated to keep going when you have so much pain. Jack says, I have my daughter, but she is married and they live in their own home. My son-in-law is active duty Air Force. I remember you were saying that you have a granddaughter who gets in scuffles. I'm sorry, Shabby. I'll I can add you to my my prayers tonight. I don't know how much good that'll do you, but since I'm not, around you, that's the best I can do is pray for you, and I'm sure you've got a lot of. I hope you've got a lot of support. That's definitely key in dealing with depression. You don't want to deal with it on your own. I don't want to private message you because you're married, and that's not good for me to message a married guy. I appreciate that. That's very considerate of you. I I've never dealt with like depression. I know that's very different from just being sad. Like I've had bad things happen in my life and been sad, but I know that's not the same as being depressed. The closest I've ever been to having any sort of issue like that is probably just um, suffered from anxiety, acute anxiety. One point in my life, I worked in a group home, taking care of like just the worst kids that have just been through hell, and it's a very stressful job. And there was a period where I just got what's called vicarious traumatization, and then just acute anxiety, and it lasted for almost a week, where I couldn't calm down. I couldn't relax. I couldn't get away from this feeling that something bad was going to happen, and just um, couldn't. And there was like one of the kids' voices, like I don't want to get too much into it, but their like voice, um, they were really reliving trauma during a containment, and they were talking. They were going through and reliving and saying the things they would have been saying in that containment, and that voice and that thing just played on my head for repeat for days. I couldn't get it out of my head. All I could hear was over and over again. And man, like that was the worst. And I'm glad I went through that, because prior to that, I lacked understanding of what that meant, like what depression and anxiety meant, and mood disorders, what they could mean, and what it could be like when your brain or your body is just you can't reason your way out of it, and you're just stuck, and it sucks. I hope it gets better for you, as I have so much going on in my life, dude. I need a job that adds to depression. I've been having anxiety attacks every day, multiple times a day for months now. That's brutal. That is not a place I want to be. I'm glad, like in my situation, it was temporary. Like I just couldn't imagine living like that all the time. Travis says I'm a mess right now. I can believe it, man. I think stepping away from social media can be good, hopefully, because I know that there's a lot to be triggering on social media, and that can be a very rough spot to be in. See. So when I do make my return to Twitch, maybe I can MOD for you. Yeah, I don't even know what that is. I'm still very new to this and pretty basic, so I think I know what the MOD is. I've yet to reach the level of popularity I think where I've required one. Everyone's been pretty decent. I had like one case where someone was getting weird, but there's nothing I do about it in the chat because they were doing it messaging. Travis says, "Yeah, I had an altercation with a streamer a little while ago, and I'm just done." I'm sorry about that. I feel like there's like pluses and minuses. I keep dropping this. Pluses and minuses to social media, and there's definitely some people out there that contribute to the minuses more than others. So this and YouTube is the only social media that I do. You know, I don't do Facebook or Snapchat or anything else. This is my primary. I think it's primary source of social media. And I stopped even watching the news. I get very obsessive about the news, and my wife was like, "Hey, you should probably stop. It's not doing you any favors." Thank you for the follow, Hartman. Can't see your name. It goes by fast. Followed the streamer for over 2 years, and he embarrassed me in his chat. It was mean. Out of nowhere, he got mean. How's your wife? Good. Good. You unfollowed that streamer. That was probably a good idea. Hartman 24. Hello. Welcome to the chat. Doing my shoulder presses now. I was just doing the quick 10 pounds, make sure everything's dialed in and where it's supposed to be. Gonna do a quick set with the 20s and then move up to some more weight. When I change exercises, I like to go back down a little bit in weights and make sure that everything is working the way it's supposed to. It can be detrimental to not make sure that you're not going to tear anything or that everything's working the way it's supposed to. What kind of work are you looking for, Shabby Mama? Feel like feel like there's like a lot of jobs out there, unless you're in certain fields. And it seems like some fields are just completely completely booked, and it's very frustrating. All right, gonna grab the 40 pounds. £40 is, let's see, 18.14 kilograms. XX J Miss XX. Any good exercises for weak knees, brother? Man, fortunately I am not the guy for that. I am as pretty basic as you can get, man. I would there's a guy, he's Destroyed, that streams, that seems to know a lot about what he's talking about. If you ever check him out, he's pretty, usually streams like in a couple hours and is pretty active on the weekends. You'll see, if you see him, sometimes he's playing games, but he seems like a pretty good source of knowledge. But I don't have weak knees, so I really don't know. But I'm not a professional. If you watch long enough, you'll be able to tell that easily. Do you have weak knees due to like an injury or? Hartman says, it appears you're a relatively new streamer. Just a heads up, there are scammers who try to sell you art to increase your viewers. Extreme says, uh, also wicked arms, king, just genetics. Yeah, Justin, that sucks. I've been very fortunate with my knees, but I've also been very careful with my knees. So I used to do a lot of manual labor, and I don't do anything rushing with my knees. I take my time. Harmon says it's all AI generated crap you can get off the internet. I tell you what, if my wife found out I was paying somebody to do art for me, getting scammed would be the least problem I would have. I would be in a lot of trouble with my wife. If she found me spending money on this, it'd be a very short-lived endeavor. Like, them boys crack and sometimes just give out under my feet, and it's scary. Oh, that is scary. I've done that where you're like walking and your knee just randomly is like, I'm gonna not do what I'm supposed to. But I've heard people talk about checking out the knees over toes guy. There's like a guy that has a bunch of exercises for people with weak knees, and it talks about using a angled squat board that's supposed to help you with your knees. Um, but I don't know. I've never done it, so I can't advocate for it or say. I do pretty basic squats. I know my dad. My dad had his knee blown out when he wrestled in high school, and he's at this point, like he used to squat a lot, but he's how old's my dad? My dad's 65 or will be 65. No, he's 65. No, 63. Um, but he doesn't do any squatting anymore. He just does deadlifting. So that's his big advice. And I know other people that have weak knees also talk about doing a shallow squat, like don't go down all the way and do like lighter weights. But I would say, like, what is your goal in working out your knees? Like, are you looking to do some serious leg days and get some big quads, or you know, I would examine that. Just strengthening. Yeah, I would check out the knees over toes guy. I've heard good things about him. Like I said, I think it's Destroyed. I could whisper you the name later. I don't want to say it wrong, but he seems to know what he's talking about. Oh, come on. Ah. Jeff, check it out. Thanks, man. It's frustrating being in my early 20s with bad knees and no injuries. The place to blame. But, um, yeah, that sucks, man. Like, it definitely when you have like the heart to push hard and something in your body's like, oh no, not today. That sucks. Um, it's very frustrating, and you have to like control that frustration and anger because it can cause you to push harder and push through something you shouldn't and hurt yourself. Um, do you do any sort of body weight squats, like just your body doing squats? Um, I would say at the very least you could start there. Just try like sets of 10 um, with just body weight and see how you feel. And as you go along, you could add. I would start with really lightweight because that's going to be a big indication that there's something wrong. Is you're going to feel it, and you're gonna be like, okay, back it off. But if you take it slow, hopefully you'll feel it before it's a problem. Like, and you just gotta really listen to your body. That's gonna be the best thing for you. But I would give body weight squats a shot. You're not holding weight, and it gives you an opportunity to work on your form. Just know if you jump into body weight squats and you're not really doing a lot of squats at all, you're going to be sore, and that's going to be something you're going to feel regardless. Anytime you do any leg day, anytime you do any amount of squats, like if you busted out, let's say you did 10 sets of 10 for 100 squats, you will not be able to walk well for the rest of the week. So just be prepared for that. Don't do a bunch of squats, you know, right off the get go. I would say if you don't do bodyweight squats, I wouldn't go past like 5 sets of 10. That I'm new to the whole workout world. I only have a simple mat and a few weights. That's great. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You can do a lot. Like if you look, like this is my entire weight collection. You know, I don't have a lot of space. Like I don't have any big machines. I've got the punching bag. I do have a treadmill that you can't see, but um, everything I do is with dumbbells, and you just add weight as you go along. And Shabby says, extra minutes, there's a lot you can do. Yeah. But I would definitely start with body weights for squats. Kind of fill that out. Give yourself an opportunity to feel the exercises. And any exercise you choose to do, make sure that you check your range of motion without weights. So like if you're gonna do shoulder presses and you've never done them, like just kind of fill it out, take it slow, feel that full range, and make sure that you can do it. You can call me JJ if that's easier for you. Yeah, all right, AJ it is. Bahaha. JJ. And just pace yourself, man. Just know nobody naturally looks huge right off the get-go. It takes time. I says, JJ, I know a channel on YouTube, or you can watch a channel on YouTube that may help. JJ says, yes, please, anything helps. JJ says, I nailed a really good calorie deficit with proper protein and decided adding working out as the next step. JJ says, it's a female, or sorry, Shabby says, JJ, it's a female, but she's rad. Her channel on YouTube is Mad Fit. There you go. Shabby definitely would know what she's talking about. And JJ says, I definitely check it out. Yeah, and like I say, man, work out, lift, take your time. You know that it can take a long time to be huge and see the results that you want. Try not to get caught up in the world of taking a little extra here and there. Shabby says she posts videos with exercises you can do with minimal equipment. That's great. Now you can always, I export all of my streams to my YouTube channel. If you ever want to check out what I do and it's no longer on Twitch, it's all there. And you can see I've been streaming and posting it since the beginning of the year. So there's a lot of content there. JJ says, that's great. I'm so far out to be going back and forth in the gym. Hours drive, 2 hours total there and back. Hey, what are you doing? Getting your swole on? Says, Beomorph? I am. I'm getting my swole on. Best I can. How you doing, Beomorph? Hope I'm saying that right. Beomorph says, good, man. Implement better. Yep. Saying it perfect. All right. I like it. I feel good when I can get someone's name correct. I hate butchering someone's name. All right, I'm gonna go on down to the 35 pounds. Give me a second, gotta adjust my weights. Yeah, JJ, I primarily do everything with dumbbells, and like if you get a adjustable set, it can be tedious because it takes more time because you got to change out weights, but you can always add more and more plates as you go along. So saves me money. And I don't know where you live, but there's a lot of cheap weights out there. If you look around, you can find used weights. A lot of people sell their plates on, Facebook or Craigslist, and you can find them or cruise garage sales. Find yourself a good used store. It's better on Craigslist though. If you can find somebody with getting rid of plates on Craigslist, because iron is a fixed price. So most stores don't sell their inventory for that much cheaper than new, because they can always sell their iron for scrap and get a good price. And they can't lower their iron, or they can't make their iron lower than scrap, because then all the scrap guys would just come clean them out all the time. So finding someone on Craigslist is a good bet. It's a nice way to go. And there's tons of people that have weights that don't use them anymore. Used gym equipment is always a steal. Harvin says, subscribed on YouTube. Do you ever live stream on YouTube and Twitch? I don't, because I just stream from my phone, and I don't have a laptop that I stream from, so I'm pretty basic as a streamer. Says, Tim, I'm gonna go. I'll be back around Twitch eventually, but like I said, I'm in a dark place right now. I'll keep you and your family in my prayers. Take care, my friend, Mama Shabs. We'll be back. All right, well, I'll be praying for you. I hope you do feel better. Balmore says he mispronounces everyone's name. You have weird names. That's true. Balmore says, yeah, I check it almost daily. You never know what you're gonna find. Yeah, I know. The fun part is if you check gigs, there's always like random gigs. I found a guy randomly that paid me to help him with presentations for public speaking, and I forget how much he paid me, but it was like made like $60 off of him just for sitting in a coffee shop for him, like on 2 different occasions for an hour, and just working on public speaking and how to be confident and present confidently. So that was good. I like to look at the gigs. There's some funny ones. And if you have a pickup truck, it's easy to make some quick cash off of Craigslist. Just go haul someone's junk. I have a sister-in-law that is like the queen of finding deals, and she's the queen of like selling stuff. She's very good at finding you top dollar for your stuff. Her husband, my brother-in-law, is the king of swaps. That guy, he like has picked up so much stuff for nothing because he has things to swap, and make some good deals for himself. I'm impressed with how many motorcycles he's acquired over the years. just knowing how to do quick trades. And he does quick trades, like shows up and fixes someone's yard and walks away with a motorcycle. Belmore says, gotta do your research though. Some people be trying to sell stuff same price as new or even more at times. Yeah, I saw this guy's video where he rents a truck and goes to Home Depot and just clears out all of their heaters or some product, and then goes on Amazon and Etsy and not Etsy but eBay and stuff, and just sells them for huge markups, and people buy them because it's a good deal. And he just was cleaning the house. I think he made, can't remember exactly, but I want to say that he made either $5,000 or $10,000 off of these things. But yes, my dad always taught me, and I've definitely learned, it's a buyer's beware market. It's your job to make sure you're happy with what you're getting. I used to buy gold like in 2009 for a company in a mall. And we would buy scrap jewelry at a ridiculously low price. And like we would buy it for 42% of what it's worth. If you came up and asked to sell it, that's the price we would quote you, was 42%. And some people would just take that price, and then some people would haggle and you'd go up. And we try to keep it below 80% of value, but we would go as high as 80. But there was a guy that had another kiosk that bought gold, and you could see his kiosk from our kiosk. And if they just walked over and asked him, he would give them 83% was his base price for buying gold. And all they had to do was walk less than 100 yards. I think it was, I want to say it was less than 50 yards, but it was sight. You could read his signs. You knew exactly that he was in the same business. And people just didn't bother to ask. They didn't bother to go over and find out. And I taught my people, because I ended up being the manager, you got to close it fast. You got to move fast. Don't lie to them. That was one thing, is you don't lie. If someone asks you, you give them an honest answer. Don't lie. Don't deceive them. But if they don't bother asking and they don't bother haggling, forget about it. That's their deal. All right, you're gonna grab 30 pounds. Occasionally, someone would come to sell gold that was in a bad spot. And that was the nice thing about having that other guy over there, is I would just send them over there. And he was a really good guy. It wasn't my business, so I could only go up to 80%. But this guy, if you told him it was a bad deal, like if you told him this guy's in a bad spot, like we had people that were, they come in and they're desperate because they can't pay a medical bill, or they're worried about losing their house, or their kids in trouble. or sometimes it's a funeral expense, all sorts of things. Um, and if it was a genuine story, I could take them over to the other guy, and he would buy their stuff from anywhere from 90% to at cost. Really nice guy. And it was his business, so he could do that. But you know, he's a good guy to know. And what sucked is I kind of felt like the primary reason a lot of people didn't go over to him is because he was Middle Eastern, um, and like he had Sanskrit on his signs and different things on his signs, and I think they didn't feel comfortable going over for some reason. But it was just dumb. It was like, man, that guy will instantly give you a better deal. Just gotta walk like 50 yards. 50 yards and you're gonna double your money. Oh, thank you for the follow, Bamorph. Appreciate it very much. I learned a lot about people doing that job. I started doing it when I was 26. And it was very interesting. It was like the beginning of jobs where I dealt with uh, a lot of criminals, a lot of drug addicts and stuff. Gilmore says, "Oh well, be time for me. I'm out, but I'll come check in you from from time to time. Have a good workout, man." Yeah, well, thank you for the follow. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm almost actually done too, so I got less than 2 minutes, and then my wife will have my head if I'm not done. Time for me to put the kids down. Awesome. Fail says, awesome. Take care. We'll do, man. All right, I got time for one more set.